Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Jets Flight Path. Draft day is finally here after a few weeks off. Sorry about that, been slammed with schoolwork and just everything else, but we're back here to talk about the first round of the draft, and we are joined once again by our guest, NickPo, a regional Dallas Cowboys fan, so we'll definitely hear what he has to think of the Jets picks and whatnot. And we'll just get right into it. So, first round mock, we'll do all 32 picks, and then after that, we'll talk about the full Jets prediction 7 round mock draft, and we'll get into that. So, starting off, first overall, the 2021 NFL draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Mac Jones, quarterback, Alabama.
Nice.
Yes. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence. It's always been Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's so uninteresting. Like that, you know how most drafts there's some type of intrigue? Not at all. Trevor Lawrence going number one overall. Paul, hand it over to you.
Yeah, honestly, the draft starts at 3.
Yeah. Yeah. NickPo, do you feel the same?
I absolutely agree with Paul. 1 and 2, everyone knows it. There's
Even Zach Wilson will be a New York Jet. If
no
not,
matter who had the number one pick, Trevor Lawrence was always going to be number one, and this is dating back to 2 years ago.
It's been in the making. And
of course,
Zach Wilson is, at this point, Jets ain't trading out. The cat's kind of already out of the bag. There was already reports of Zach Wilson picking the brains of former Jets quarterbacks like Mark Sanchez and Chad Pennington to see how the market is, to see how they handle New York and whatnot. It's already locked in. If not, me and or Paul will be flying off a roof tomorrow night.
Hey, let's make a pact.
Let's make a pact. Right here.
I don't think you guys will be flying off of any roof. It's Zach Wilson.
Now let's start the draft.
Let's allow time to start the NFL draft. So back up. Number 3 overall, the San Francisco 49ers, they traded up in this spot to assure themselves one of the quarterbacks of their choosing after Lawrence and Wilson. They probably got some inside information from, the Jets saying, yeah, we're going to take Zach Wilson, so whoever you want there. I have the Niners taking Trey Lance, quarterback in North Dakota State. One of the most interesting prospects overall. A lot of people are thinking Mac Jones. I just can't see any team trading up to get Mac Jones, and that's going to play in later as we get into the draft. But I think, Lance fits the Shanahan system well. A little bit raw, but could be harnessed that talent, kind of like what Buffalo did with Josh Allen, and he could work wonders in San Fran.
I think San Fran is going to go Mac Jones, as stupid as it is. It's not a good pick. I think it's a terrible pick. And I know all this, you could easily say it's a smokescreen saying that Mac Jones, because of all this recent news that has come out where they said that they're deciding between Mac Jones and Trey Lance. I do not think Mac Jones is an NFL quarterback. I'm going to just put that out there. But
he's going to be an NFL quarterback. He will be drafted tomorrow.
Oh, he will be drafted tomorrow, and I don't think he should be, but he will be based off of. Yeah, I don't know.
So that's what you think they will do. What do you think they will should do in that spot?
If I was running San Fran, number 3, I personally would go Justin Fields. All right, I think Fields.
Yeah.
So many people are hating on him, and I don't know. I don't understand why. I think he's miles away a better prospect than Jones and Trey Lance. I'm a big believer in Justin Fields, and I think no matter where he goes, he's going to be great.
Yeah, no, I think the talent is there. It's just I don't know why he's going to drop, but apparently he will.
Paul, yeah, he's dropping.
Yeah, Paul, what are your thoughts on 3 overall?
Again, I agree with NickPo. I don't think it's Trey Lance. I think it is Justin Fields. Dual threat quarterback. He can run, he can pass, and he'll fit well in Kyle Shanahan's offense.
We all have 3 different picks as 3 overall.
We do. We do. I have Justin Fields at 3, and
Which
This is
I
where the
think is the
draft
right
begins
call.
to get interesting now.
Yeah,
It's a safe pick. It's a safe pick for San Francisco.
it is.
It's a scheme fit, and like I said, he'll thrive in Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Yeah, and I mean, in the very least, they are taking a quarterback. We know that, and with that knowledge, there's already reports that saying Jimmy G will probably be moved, probably on day 2 of the draft, and maybe they recoup a pick and trade him to somebody. I could see a team like Washington trading for him, but
Who's that
uh,
for Jimmy G?
yeah. But
Yeah, I can see
we'll
that.
see with that. They're definitely taking a quarterback, that's for sure. At 4 gets a little interesting. The Atlanta Falcons, they can go a lot of different ways. There's reports or rumors like of Julio Jones maybe traded. First off, he can't be traded until after June 1st. And secondly, it's not even worth it in the
Not at all.
Falcons' interest to move him. One, the money doesn't work. The dead cap, it's not worth it. And two, a guy that talented, the Falcons hired an offensive-minded coach. They're running it back with Matt Ryan. A lot of people think, well, it's time to move on from Matt Ryan. He can still get it done. I think they're just going to add to this offense. And I think they take the overall second best player in this draft, and that is tight end Kyle Pitts out of Florida. He's super talented, and the Falcons haven't had that monster at tight end since Tony Gonzalez retired. They had like the 1 year with Austin Hooper. They've tried with Hayden Hurst, but I think adding Kyle Pitts to that offense with Julio and with Ridley is going to be dangerous.
Well, Brian, I went a completely different direction.
Okay.
I made this pick with the thought of Julio actually being traded.
Okay.
And with number 4, I have the Falcons taking Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. Excuse me. Again, the best receiver in this draft class. Julio Jones getting up there in age. He does have a big cap hit, but I do think there would be a team out there who would take a flyer on Jones. And you look at that receiving core now. Jamar Chase and Calvin Ridley. Oh, that's disgusting. That would be absolutely disgusting. And
Yeah,
it gives Matt Ryan a brand new toy to play with.
it's like
He's
you're
getting up
hardly
there in
missing
age.
a beat.
Exactly.
You're
Exactly.
going from Julio to Ridley to Chase. It's like that's insane.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Well, you're going from
So
Roddy White to Julio to
Yeah,
Chase in that
hey, if you want
instance.
to take that far back, sure. Nah, I'm with you, Brian. I think Pitts is too talented to pass up at that point. So I definitely think Atlanta takes Kyle Pitts.
All right. And who do you have at number 5?
And NickPo, you
Cincinnati.
just said Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I was just Brian, continue, please.
All right. So at 5, Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock. Now, what the Bengals should do is
what they will do.
well, I don't think
know
so.
where you're going.
I've looked it over. I'm thinking it's like the Bengals are going to be dumb, aren't they? But you know what? Looking at it even closer, it's like it's not too dumb because
No,
I
not
have
at
the
all.
Bengals taking Jamar Chase here. That connection with Joe Burrow from LSU makes him a bit happy. I'm very happy to have that weapon. Even though they took T. Higgins last year, they lost A.J. Green. They desperately need help at offensive line, but they can get O-line in the second round and the third round. They can still. There's plenty of quality offensive linemen in this draft, so I think they take the best wide receiver overall. At 5, I think the Bengals take Jamar Chase.
Interesting. So, because for me anyway, Falcons already took Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
I am going with what is the highest regarded left tackle in recent memory. The Bengals take at number 5, Penny Sewell, University of Oregon, just to shore up that blind side for Joe Burrow and let him become the quarterback that Cincinnati hopes he can become.
And I'm with Paul there. I agree. After watching last year, I get it. It's tempting to pair Joe Burrow with his teammate. But after watching last year and seeing how beaten up Joe Burrow got, you have to protect him. That comes first. Because,
I agree.
having Chase would be nice.
That's what they should do.
Yes.
I
Having
don't
Chase
think
would
they
be
will
nice.
do.
Having the weapons, like having Chase to go with Higgins, like that'd be phenomenal. But the game's won in the trenches. You need protection. I think they take Penny Sewell.
All right. And next up at the 6th overall spot, the Miami Dolphins, who,
Fins up.
they trade back up. You know, they need a true number one. Devontae Parker, fine receiver. They have some weapons there. Of course, they have Mike Gesicki, but they need to get a big, deep threat for Tua, and I think they go Devonta Smith, wide receiver for Alabama. Just falls right into their lap. I think it's a perfect fit for them and perfect receiver for Brian Flores.
All right, so I have the first trade of the draft.
No.
Miami trades back to 10 with Dallas. Dallas moves up to 6. And
Oh.
with the 6th overall
Ah.
pick, the Dallas Cowboys select what is possibly the best player in this draft, tight end Kyle Pitts from the University of Florida. With that offensive line and the receiving core that Dallas has, it only makes sense to get themselves the best tight end in the draft. He's young, he's versatile, he is the best way I can describe him. He's Calvin Johnson as a tight end. And with Dak Prescott coming off that ankle injury, who knows how deep he can throw the ball. He's got a safe option over the middle. He's got someone who can block for him if he needs. I think Dallas hits a home run here, and they take Kyle Pitts.
Now, all of my... I just want to state this real quick.
I told you like my pick.
All of my friends that know me, that personally know me, know how much
No,
I
you want them to
believe...
take Mac Jones.
No, they know how much I believe in Blake Jarwin. I was a Jarwin believer even before he tore his ACL, and then Schultz came out. Schultz looked great. But if Dallas can somehow land Kyle Pitts, I will be ecstatic. Now, sadly, I already had Pitts off to Atlanta, so that's not happening. My Miami pick is the number one receiver off the board. I think Miami takes Jamar Chase.
Okay.
I know that reports came out where they supposedly favored Waddle over Chase. Yeah, no. Chase is the best wide receiver in this draft. They know it. Give me Jamar Chase.
Yeah, if Chase is available to them, and they're not taking Waddle. That's just nonsense.
Not at all.
All right, so we're on to 7, and my first trade of the draft, I have the Denver Broncos swapping picks, moving up ahead of Carolina with the Detroit Lions at pick 7. So the Denver Broncos select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. I think the Teddy Bridgewater trade from earlier for a 6th-round pick for Carolina is just honestly, I think it's a Drew Lock replacement because it's Teddy Bridgewater at this point in his career is a backup, but you have to go get your franchise quarterback. Drew Lock he had the weapons with Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick, even last year with Jerry Jeudy, and they were certainly banged up early in the year, but Drew Lock did no favors. He looked terribly, made poor decisions, and I think it's time to move on once again and try and hope for the best that Fields is the guy. And I think just move ahead of Carolina because you don't know what they'll do. They may trade back, whatever, and just assure that they get their franchise quarterback. So Fields to the Broncos in a trade up at 7 overall.
I actually like that.
So I stayed put at 7 with the Lions, and I have them taking Heisman Trophy winner receiver Devontae Smith. Number 7 gives Jared Goff a new weapon to play with, and it helps mend the
Replaces
hole that Galladay put. So Devonta Smith, number 7, Detroit.
I am also there with Paul. I have Detroit taking Devonta Smith at number 7.
All right. So on to number 8, the Carolina Panthers. Now there's been rumors of them trading possibly with the New England Patriots, and talks of even Stephen Gilmore being involved in this potential trade. I don't think that's happening. I think at this point, Carolina, seeing how the draft falls to them, they're just going to take, in their opinion, the best player available, and I think they'll go with Micah Parsons, the best linebacker in this draft. They have a void that's definitely felt from Luke Kuechly's absence since he retired, and I think Parsons fills that well.
Yeah. So again, I stay put at 8 with Carolina. No trades. With Darnold there, Teddy Bridgewater gone, I was tempted to take a quarterback. However, I went with Jalen Waddle. Again, wide receiver,
Oh,
University of Alabama.
that's
Best
interesting.
slot receiver in the, as they say, in the game, or in the draft, excuse me. So now your your offense in Carolina is looking very good with
Mm.
McCaffrey.
They got to replace
Um,
Curtis Samuel, so
Right, it'll replace Curtis Samuel. So you have DJ Moore, McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, Waddle, and Darnold. So now Darnold's got some pieces to work with. So now it's really make or break for him. And I think Darnold has a great year this year, and I think that's a pick that is a safe pick for Carolina.
Yeah, I have Carolina taking Mika Parsons as well. I think Brian also had him there.
mm-hmm.
Uh, Best linebacker in the draft by far. Yeah, I can't see them passing up on him. They need the help, like you said, with Kuechly gone.
They need any defensive help because their defense was atrocious last year. So,
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
very bad.
um,
Yep.
but multiple ways they can go. And at 9, in my trade back, the Lions stay there. They stay put, and they pick Patrick Surtain, the second cornerback out of Alabama, second generational player, and arguably the best cornerback in this draft overall. Lions, like Carolina, needs all the help they can get on defense, and I think this is a good start. Selecting Surtain. So
So at number 9, I stay put with Denver, and whoever said the Teddy Bridgewater trade was just a smokescreen, 100% agree because I have the Denver Broncos taking Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had issues with ever since Manning retired. It's just been like a carousel of quarterbacks, quote unquote. Same thing with the Jets, but they have Bridgewater. They could bring in Trey Lance, have a competition. Let Lance sit for a year if he does lose. You have a competent QB in Teddy, and you know Denver's offense isn't terrible, but it's not great. They had pieces there. It's just all about developing them, and
yeah,
they let Lance learn the system for a year. Then they can focus on putting pieces around him next year if they think he's ready to go. And hopefully they have Pat Mahomes situation out there in Denver. But yeah, Trey Lance, number 9 to Denver.
all right.
I have the same. I have Denver taking Trey Lance.
So it's
I
basically just
mean,
flipped. We all think Denver is going to take a quarterback, and they're just
oh, they have
BSing.
to. I mean, yeah, I know they got Teddy, and Drew Lock is not the answer. I think they definitely need a QB.
Makes sense. All right. Moving on to pick number 10. This is the Dallas Cowboys pick for me, and they're staying put. And they saw the Lions take Surtain. They're not messing around. They're taking J.C. Horn. No, that'll make you happy, NickPo. J.C. Horn, arguably, again, best corner in the draft. After Horn and Surtain, it is kind of a dip at cornerback. Still very, quality corners that'll go in the mid to late first round. But these two guys are right there. It could even be flipped, but Dallas has to go corner. If not, I mean, they could maybe go for O line because their O line wasn't, as great as in previous years. But I think you got to start with that defense. The Cowboys, when Dak was on the field, they were scoring at will, but their defense was also letting up points as well at will. Excuse me. So
Right.
going corner here, I think it makes all the sense in the world.
So again, my pick 10 is going to be different because of the trade to 6. So this is where Miami picks, and at number 10, I have them taken from Northwestern tackle Rashawn Slater. Again, shore up the blind side for Tua. He has that hip injury that he had in college. And I think it'll help shore up that offensive line. And Miami's going to be a dangerous team this year. And if they can get themselves a nice plug and play tackle, I think they're gonna vie for the AFC East title. So Rashawn Slater, at number 10.
All right.
Yeah, I have no trades in my draft. Just to put that out there. I have at number 10. I have Dallas. I got them taking Patrick Surtain, quarterback at Alabama. I know it's a toss up between him and Horn, but I definitely think from what reports are saying, Dallas prefers Surtain. So yeah, Surtain at 10.
All right.
Nice. All right. On to the 11th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. I have the New York Giants selecting Rashawn Slater. As spoke about him. He could play anywhere on the offensive line. I saw a lot of mocks, doing research and everything of the Giants going after a receiver. I can't see that vision. They just
Yeah.
signed Kenny Galladay. They have Darius Slayton, who's a very solid receiver.
Right.
Like you actually need to protect your quarterback, and the Giants have
Yep.
struggled with that in the past few years. I think they go back to back years, first round, taking offensive linemen. It makes too much sense to me. And interesting enough, I have Slater going ahead of Sewell, but I have him first.
So, me and Brian are on the same page here. However, uh, being that the Giants can't take Rashawn Slater because Miami already took him in my draft, I have them taking out of Virginia Tech Christian Darrisaw, tackle.
Ooh.
Again, they need line help, um, and they drafted Andrew Thomas last year. Had an up and down year. Again, seen as rookie year. But I fully expect them to be able to um, plug him in at left tackle, maybe cut Nate Soder later on before training camp, and plug in Christian at right, so that way they can get some protection around Daniel Jones
No excuses for
and
Daniel
see
Jones this
really
year.
what he's got. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I said no excuses for Daniel Jones this year. With all the
Right.
talent they've
It's
added and everything.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. But again, I got him going Christian Darrisaw at number 11.
I think this is the first pick in mine that you could argue is weird.
Okay.
Well,
Let's
Like
hear
let's
it.
hear it.
unexpected. It's not so unexpected, but
It's a
at number 11, I got the Giants taking Quiddy Pay, edge rusher out of Michigan.
I've seen a lot of
I
mocks with him.
yeah, he
They could use
they
him.
need pass rush help in the worst way. I mean, and they also need to shore up the O line for sure. But I think bringing in Kenny Galladay, having the weapons, I just think they're gonna lean defense here, and that's
Mm.
why I think they go Quiddy Pay.
Yeah, I think a lot of these teams, like with the Giants, it's all right. O line or pass rush. Cowboys. Do they go anywhere on the defense or go O line? Like a lot, it's just basically like two things. You gotta kind of narrow that down, and you know. But that would be a solid pick for the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles, picking at 12. They're staying there, and lucky them, they get Jalen Waddle, so they'll have three Jalen's on the offense, along with Hurts and Rager, and they add a Waddle to it. Wide receiver, Alabama. Um, One of the top three receivers in the draft. Just adding to that offense, giving Jalen Hurts all the chance in the world to succeed. Eagles not expected to be good overall this year, but a piece for them going forward.
All right. So 12. Again, Philadelphia. I have them taking linebacker out of Penn State, Micah Parsons.
Okay.
Best linebacker in the draft, and they need help in the worst way, basically at every position. But the quarterback of the defense starts at linebacker, and Micah Parsons would be the guy to go. Athletic, very versatile, um, and like I said, they could have went with anybody at this pick, but you got to start somewhere, and I started with the quarterback of the defense, Micah Parsons, out of Penn State.
Yeah, I got Philly at number 12. I got them taking Jalen Waddle as well. Uh, they need something. You know how much they like.
They need it all.
you know how much they like Devonta Smith and how much they would hope one of those guys would fall to them, but I see both of them off the board before they can even pick. And Jalen Waddle, I don't think that's a bad consolation to be honest. So yeah, I got the Eagles taking Jalen Waddle.
Apologize for
Yeah,
that.
all things considered, that'll be solid picks. Either Waddle or Parsons, they could utilize anything right about now. Moving on to 13 overall, the LA Chargers. I have them taking Penny Sewell. I think he drops just because of the talent depth of this
Wow.
class. Um,
Really?
yep, I have him going after Slater. I feel like Slater's more of a Gettleman type of pick because he's more versatile. Sewell, they'll just plug and play him right there at left tackle, protect Herbert's blind side. And what an offseason for the Chargers. You know, they add Corey Linsley, add Penny Sewell. Herbert, we already see what he could do in his rookie year. I mean, just it only helps my case for my Chargers making the Super Bowl this year against the Bucks.
I,
But
I guess so.
but I like that pick there at 13. Um, it Sewell, arguably the best tackle in this draft, goes to the Chargers.
All right, so number 13, I have them taking quarterback Patrick Surtain the second from Alabama. They're going to be a real fun team, and I think they knocked it out of the park last year with the quarterback that not many people were too high on with Justin Herbert. But they have the offense that really helped them develop and really gave them confidence. I think they need to focus on defensive side of the ball, and they get who is possibly the best corner in this draft, and certain, excuse me, not certain, and they just build through the defense in this draft, and I think the Chargers are going to be a really fun, really gritty team to watch next year, and don't be surprised if they go toe to toe with Kansas City in the two games they play. Those will be fun games to watch.
Probably primetime games. Flex them in if they're not already primetime games. Nick
hmm
Poe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, 13 for the Chargers. Obviously, I have them staying put. I have everyone staying put because trades are insane. I have the Chargers taking Rashawn Slater, O lineman out of Northwestern.
Okay.
Uh, they could go defense, sure, but I mean the offense with Herbert there. I think you want to protect Herbert as much as you can, and by getting, in my opinion, the best tackle in the draft, what better way to do it?
All right. Solid pick again. I think all of like our picks are kind of generally like for team needs, but we'll see
Right.
how teams just shock us tomorrow by drafting something out of the blue.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
with 14th overall, the Minnesota Vikings, I have them staying put, and they're taking Elijah Vera Tucker, the offense tackle out of USC. Plug and play him right away. Minnesota's O line struggled last season. He's a guy you can play some guard, but I think it'd be better out, at left tackle for him. Got to protect Kirk Cousins. The
The GOAT.
Vikings. The Vikings are a weird team. They're like that borderline completely fall apart, and this is the year they just shit the bed, or they'll make another run and get to the playoffs and make some noise.
Right.
But I think regardless if Cousins is the quarterback in 2022 or not, going forward, you want to lock up. You just want to build up that O line, and this is the draft to do it. And I think Vera Tucker is the next one off the board.
Well, I think just to add on to your point, with the quarterback class being so rough next year, I think they hold on to Kirk Cousins. I really
Mm,
don't see him really leaving Minnesota, but maybe later on in the draft, I get ahead of myself. Maybe they take a Kyle Trask or
okay,
who
yeah.
knows, maybe a second or third round, whatever. But for right now, 14th overall, I have them taking safety Trevon Moehrig out of
Ooh,
TCU. Again, up top they were shaky last year, and again, it's just a fill a need. Like they're such a weird team, like Brian said. This is really the year where they need to hit on this draft. They need to hit a few picks and
they hit last year with
really
Jefferson.
develop these guys because if they swing and miss at this draft, they're going to be in deep duty.
Deep duty.
But yeah, so that's what I have at 14. Trayvon Moore.
Yeah, 14. I have Minnesota going Jalen Phillips, edge out of Miami.
All different. Yeah, we have no idea what the fucking
Yeah,
Vikings are. I don't think
the
they know what
Vikings.
they're doing. They're gonna take
The
all
Vikings can
10
go a million
minutes.
different directions. Oh yeah, they're gonna be that team where the pick is in when you have like 20 seconds left on the
Well,
clock.
they did that before. They did that in back-to-back drafts where they like used up the clock and the draft just skipped them for like 4 or 5 picks because they couldn't figure out who to pick. Like they actually skipped over them, but luckily for them, they ended up with like I don't know if you remember him, like Kevin Williams, one of the Williams brothers, Kevin or Pat Williams, like the
Right.
defensive lineman. But it's just I don't know. The Vikings are weird. But I'm sorry, continue, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're weird. They can go a million different directions. I could see them going O line. I could see them going receiver. They could do so many different things. Obviously, I don't think they'll go receiver. I mean, they shouldn't, but they could. Like,
Yeah, they
they're
could.
such a weird team to me, and I mean, it's really flip a coin at this point with them. Like, they need a lot.
Yeah. So moving on to 15, and this is New England Patriots pick. They don't have to move up. They don't have to do anything. Mac Jones falls right into their lap.
Yep.
The
Yep.
the system quarterback, perfect for for Belichick. Um, I think if Mac Jones is going to succeed in the NFL, there's no better place to succeed than under Bill Belichick in New England. So
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, Brian. Mac Jones is who I have at 15. There was a lot of, you know, not hype, but a lot of questions after his pro day. He was missing his receivers long, or he wasn't hitting the throws he needed to hit. And there was a video that showed Bill Belichick shaking his head. I guess maybe disappointed with him, but I think this is a pick that they need to make because New England, and you'll love to see it. You really do, Brian. New England is in purgatory right now. They really are. They are
they're grasping at
kind of
straws.
just. They're kind of what's that?
They're grasping at straws in a sense because they're doing something they've never done in all the year under Kraft's ownership. They've never spent like this, like drunken
Yeah,
sailors in free agency. This is
yeah,
totally un-New England like.
exactly. And they're just in a weird spot right now. They have the potential to be a playoff team. But Cam Newton was just so garbage last year that it just completely. And then they had the most opt outs of COVID of
Hmm.
any team in the NFL. They come back this year, then they just go on a rampage in free agency. They practically signed half the league
Yeah,
to a contract, and they're running it back with Cam Newton. I think they got to take quarterback at this point because again, the next year's draft they're saying potentially at most two guys that are coming out of the draft, and
mm.
I don't know. I just feel Mac Jones. It's not the pick that they should make, but it's the pick they need to make because they got to get out of this draft with a quarterback. At
Well,
least
what
somebody
should they
that they
make?
can mold and what receiver. They have really no receivers. The
Well,
line is
they
still
signed
pretty
a few,
good.
I think.
Uh, Running back, it's way too early to take a running back.
Yeah,
Interior defensive lineman, maybe. I mean, it's just a weird spot for New England to be in. Like I said,
yeah, and you
I
hate
don't
to
think
see it.
I don't think I don't think. Well, you'll love to see it, but I don't think Jones is the quarterback they need, but they need to take him
Okay.
because I have a lot of question marks about Mac Jones.
And
But
I'm on the same boat with
for the
you guys. I
for
definitely
the
think
trifecta,
I'm sorry. I definitely think
no, you're good.
New England goes QB, but as I had Mac Jones going to San Fran, I think New England lucks out at number 15 and gets Justin Fields.
Wow.
And
Really, you think he falls
yeah,
that low?
I
Well,
do.
See,
he
Yeah,
Nick Poe didn't do any trades because
I
I
didn't do
cannot
trades or nothing
see
like that.
Justin Fields
Yeah,
getting past like
I
that's
top
what
didn't
I'm
do
10.
saying.
trades. I don't got the patience for trades. I can't predict it. Like, no. So yeah,
All right.
if there's no trades, New England at 15, Justin Fields,
That's fine.
and then they're right back in a couple of years. You
Oh
hate
yeah.
to see it.
All right. On to 16, which would be the Arizona Cardinals pick here. I have them trading back They don't have apparently third or fourth round picks, so they need to accumulate some day 2, day 3 picks. They're trading with Washington. Washington moves up a couple spots, and they take, as you mentioned before, by Paul Christian Derishaw, offensive tackle. They can plug and play him right away. At left tackle from V Tech, um, big offensive lineman, and just a team that doesn't, interestingly enough, doesn't have a whole lot of holes. Like their defense, Washington's defense is top five. Um, on the offensive side of the ball, they added Curtis Samuel. They have McLaurin on the other side. There's not really another tight end here other than Pitts. Another tight end ain't going in the first round, I don't believe. Um, Running back, they have Antonio Gibson. He was very good. So they just recently traded with Miami, I believe, swapped 6 round picks and acquired Eric Flowers, but you do not want him playing left tackle.
No,
You know
you
that
do
with the
not.
Giants. So he's there at guard. So I think they go and take Derishaw here and just build that wall for whoever's at quarterback. Most likely Fitzpatrick, but I think Derishaw's the pick.
So I go again. Basically, my entire draft right now has been just to fill needs and to fill holes and departures. So with Patrick Peterson going on to Minnesota this offseason, I have them taking at 16 J.C. Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina. Um, Fills in the Patrick Peterson hole. Phenomenal corner. Um, and who they hope they can get Patrick Peterson production out of. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see what happens. Again, Arizona's still a few pieces away from contending in the West, but I think this helps shore up the secondary, and you're going to have a great future number one for many years to come with Horn, as long as he doesn't get derailed by injuries.
Yeah, with Patrick Peterson getting older, I as well have J.C. Horn at 16 to Arizona.
All right.
It makes sense. Like I said, they're pretty with what they did this offseason. Like Arizona is slept on. Like they're pretty
They're right there.
they're pretty balanced. Like they don't have many holes when you look at their roster.
Yeah.
But you
Right.
have an aging corner, and you could just fill that need right there, and also have him learn under one of the better corners we've seen in the past couple of years. And I just think J.C. Horn for them is a perfect fit.
Right.
Okay. Moving on to 17 is the Las Vegas Raiders, and they have a whole lot of holes,
They have
specifically on the
holes everywhere.
Yeah, I mean they purged their offensive line. Like they're gonna have 3 new offensive linemen heading into the 2021 season. But I think defensively, a similar team to the Cowboys. They're pretty good on the offensive side of the ball, but defense was putrid. I
They
think,
got eaten up.
yeah, I think they need to address that, and they take Zavon Collins here from Tulsa, a solid linebacker who will, I think, fit pretty well under Coach Gruden.
So I have another trade that comes up, and it
Oh,
involves none other than the Jets.
oh,
So Jets move up to 17. They trade with Vegas. They get 23, and they get the 66th overall pick. And this is just,
hmm
I'm sure it'll be more, but Raiders get some picks in the third. Jets make a move on Greg Newsome the second. I think there will be a
ooh,
run at corner, and the Jets need to come out of this draft with one of the top corners, which is why it's so perfect that they have 2 first rounders. They get a great quarterback, and they get a top rated corner, which if you've watched the Jets over the past 2 years, oh boy, they have had trouble at the cornerback position, and Greg Newsome, they could throw him in right along Bryce Hall, and you had 2 young guys. Bryce Hall, a 5th round steal, who
hmm
in the few games he played looked very good. Hope they can continue to develop him. Put Newsome on the other side, and if they bring back Brian Poole for the slot, great. Or if they bring in Richard Sherman, as a specialty corner, that'd be great. And that really helps close up the holes that the Jets secondary is facing. And don't be. I'm telling you, Brian, and a lot of people are going to take this as, well, you're a biased Jets fan. Yeah, maybe so, but if Joe Douglas can get Greg Newsome, I think that closes up the hole in the secondary. The
Hmm.
edge rush is phenomenal. The linebacking core is pretty good. I, I don't see how the
It could
Jets
be a
can
top
be
10
any
unit.
worse. I'm and then you look at what he's done on offense. A lot of people want to say that, well, they're not going to compete. Yeah, yeah, they might not compete. They might be a 6-10 team or a 6-11 team next year, but the Jets are going to play it to the last down. It's going to be a
Hmm.
lot of close games. So Greg Newsom is second at 17 for the Jets.
At 17, like no trades. I have Vegas. I have like we mentioned, their defense was awful last year. They got beat over the top way too many times. So I got Las Vegas taking Trevon Moehrig, safety out of TCU.
Okay.
They need to shore up that defense somehow. And
Have him
Mm-hmm.
opposite of the often injured Jonathan Abram.
yeah, and ex-Cowboy Jeff Heath.
All right. I mean, again, anything defense will be solid for Raiders.
Anything defense. It legit does not matter the position.
Yep.
Anything on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes, if they do stay there. But on to 18, Miami with their second pick in the first round. I have them taking Kwity Paye, defensive end out of Michigan. Um, I think they just need that pass rushing ability that they've been missing ever since they used to have what's his name, Robert Quinn and Ndamukong Suh. It's kind of like inverse. Like now their secondary is like the strong point of the defensive unit for the Dolphins. But I think they shore up that defensive line a bit, add the pass rusher and Kwity Paye. They also got to replace Alex Van Noy, who went back to New England. So I think Flores he goes with Paye here.
All right, so at 18 again, I still have Miami sitting tight. I have them taking defensive lineman Christian Barmore from out of the University of Alabama.
Okay.
Again, great run stuffer.
At 18 for Miami, I have them going Elijah Vera Tucker, O lineman out of USC. I think this is a great, like,
That'd be a great
I
pick for
think
them.
this first round for Miami could not have worked out any better. At 6, they get in my mock. At 6, they get Jamar Chase, wide receiver, and at 18, they get Elijah Vera Tucker, O lineman. They shore up two of their biggest needs alone in the first round, and I think it doesn't work out better than that. I really, really, really love what Miami has done this offseason, even with just trading their picks. Like Miami is going to be the whole AFC East to me, aside from New England right now, unless they get Justin Fields like they do in my mock. The whole AFC East is just going to be disgusting in a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
I think that division is going to go from one of the worst to one of the best in a very short period of time.
Yeah, no, I agree. One of the weaker divisions in history in the past
No, I
20
mean
years,
it's New England and three
um,
other teams.
for sure. So, like, I think it's only improved. The Dolphins, they just got to put it together. You know me, I'm not a believer in them as an organization. Um, the Jets, we'll see. Under Sal and everything, fresh new start. The Bills, they got to get over that hump that is the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Patriots, as long as Belichick is there, they'll always be competing. But moving on to pick 19 in my mock, I have obviously Arizona and Washington flipping. So this is the Cardinals pick here. And Paul mentioned his name before. With the Jets trading up to acquire him, I don't think he gets to the Jets. Is Greg Newsome the second cornerback out of Northwestern? Probably the definitive third best corner after Horn and Surtain. So I think it would be a perfect pick for Arizona. They need cornerback help, as you mentioned, NickPo, before, to replace Patrick Peterson. Um, that's the thing. Another team where it's like, okay, they can go, because they're perfect at receiver. Go to quarterback, they can go O line, but I think defense will be more of the focus for the Cardinals in this draft. And I think, yeah, Newsom the second, he'll be a good fit for Kingsbury and company. What are your thoughts, Nickpo?
I mean, at 19, I have the Washington football team, obviously, and I have them selecting Christian Darrisaw, O lineman out of Virginia Tech. I hope it doesn't happen, but I think it will. As much as it pains me to say it, Washington Obviously as a Cowboys fan, Washington has they're on the come up. If they can just get that QB position figured out, yeah, they're gonna be a
Well,
scary
who
team.
who do you have right now currently, like before the draft? We're less than 24 hours away now.
Yeah,
Um, at this moment, who would you have winning the NFC East pre-draft?
pre-draft, no bias, obviously, but
Hmm.
if we get the Dak that we're expected to get,
Who do
I
you
think
think
Dallas
better than
would.
Washington overall?
I think I think Dallas wins the division last year if Dak never gets hurt.
Uh,
As
they were
bad
losing
as
with
the
Dak.
defense was, as no, I know, but I'm not sure if you noticed after Dak got hurt, the defense, in the 4 games, 5 games, Dak was healthy. The defense averaged like 30 something points a game. After
Yeah.
Dak got hurt, that number went down significantly, significantly. And with
I
Dan
mean,
Quinn coming in, I think that's only gonna help because Mike Nolan was complete garbage. Obviously, they still need to focus on defense, but I think if you ask me right now, it's either Dallas or the Giants for me.
uh, Dallas. I mean, Mike
Oh,
McCarthy is
welcome back.
horrendous when it comes to defense, and I mean, you saw it in Green Bay. I mean, luckily he had arguably the top 5 quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, so he could throw fucking 35 points a game. But you have to. A lot of this falls back on Mike McCarthy.
I agree. I mean, McCarthy definitely didn't have a good year at all,
No,
but I'm just gonna hope that a lot of it had to do with coming into a new team, having no preseason, having no training camp. Like I'm hoping
yeah,
it was just the shortened season and
chalk it
everything
up to
that.
that.
Yeah, I hope. Like
Right.
I'm not sold on it, but I just think I know they were losing with Dak, but I just think with Dak there, the Cowboys. I mean, signing Keanu Neal, like they're making. I mean, losing Sean Lee, retiring, but I feel like they
Hmm.
made enough moves and Demonte Casey. I just feel like it's gonna be a close division,
Yeah. Well, the
and I
NFC
just
least
think
I
usually is.
Washington's gonna be around the same thing as last year, winning 6 games, and I just don't think that's gonna be enough this year with the improvements the Giants have made and a healthy Dak.
All right. Well, that's the Cowboys update from
Uh,
NickPo. Uh,
Paul,
18, real quick. Miami's going Christian Barmore, defensive interior. Miami again shores up that defensive line. Great run stuffer. Great pass rusher up the middle. So that should be an interesting pick for Miami. Number 19, Washington. I have them taking wide receiver Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota.
ooh,
So again, they're going to hang with Fitz, and I still think they try to maybe develop something out of what's his face, the kid that they just signed,
Heineke.
Yeah,
Taylor Heineke.
yeah. Maybe they can develop him into something. But Washington's offense with Ryan Fitzpatrick, oh good God, that's going to be dirty. And
Bombs away.
yeah, I mean, God
But do
bless
you
Ryan
think
Fitz.
do you think we get the Ryan Fitzpatrick of last year or the Ryan Fitzpatrick in Tampa Bay where he's hot for 3 games and then does nothing for 4?
Well, that's
I think
that's
it's
Fitz magic.
no, but see this Ryan Fitzpatrick. I will say this, at least when he was with the Jets, he was the Jets had a great offense. They had Big Dick Eric Decker. Again, this is what was on Twitter. I'm not saying it. And Brandon Marshall as his 1 and 2. Both receivers had 1,000-yard seasons. The offensive line was very good. The defense was very good. They missed out they missed out on the playoffs going 10-6, which if the Chiefs lost one game or Pittsburgh lost another game, they would have been. I think the Jets could have made a decent run that year. The following
Okay.
year, really, they didn't want to pay him, and then McCagnon didn't sign this guy. He let this one go. Brandon Marshall left, and I think with Washington, he's going to be I think he's going to be a consistent quarterback. I don't want to say very good. I think he'll be Alex Smith-esque until they decide to figure out what they're going to do at that position.
Okay. All right. That's an interesting pick. At 20, I have the Bears staying put and taking the behemoth of man, 6'6", 320 pounds, Tevin Jenkins out of OSU. The man's a monster. He's one of the top-rated O-line prospects in the draft. A lot of people have connected him to the Jets. I don't think he'll fall to the Jets, unfortunately, because I would like him there at 23. But the Bears, they need to protect QB1 Andy Dalton. So they need all the O-line help they can get. What was once a strong suit of the Bears, 7, 8 years ago, is falling on the wayside. So they need to build that O-line back up. And I think at having Tevin Jenkins, putting him at either tackle position will only help matters for Chicago.
All right, so number 20, again, I have them staying put. I also have them taking. Now, did you said tackle, right?
Yes.
Great minds think alike because I have them taking tackle. Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. Again, you got to protect Andy Dalton if he is QB number 1. Their line has been. Line's been
shot.
so. Again, this is a guy that you could put in there. He may be rough, but he develop him right. He could be a star. The Bears are fucking in. They're another team that's in purgatory. They completely botched the Sam Darnold deal. They completely botched the Carson Wentz deal, and now they go into the next season. Green Bay's getting better. Minnesota's getting better. Detroit, I think Detroit's going to be a fun team to watch next year, and Chicago's just kind of fucking around like, oh, look what
they're
we did.
wasting another great defense. That's the trademark of the Chicago Bears.
Yep.
Always have a top 10 defensive unit, sometimes even better, and it's wasted because they never have a quarterback. So
right.
NickPo, what do you think at 20?
Let me just say real quick, if Andy Dalton is QB1, God bless them. God bless
Who
the
else are they
Bears.
getting?
I know, but
maybe they trade for Jimmy G or Drew Lock after the Niners or the Broncos.
I could see it. God bless them if they go into this season week 1 with Andy Dalton at the center. But anyway, we're all on the same page here with the Bears. Like we said, defensively they're a very sound team. It's what made them even half decent last year.
Mm-hmm.
I also, along with Brian, have Chicago taking Tevin Jenkins, O-lineman. They need to help. Like we said, they can't go defense here. They can't. Their defense is definitely not their weak point. So yeah, I go Tevin Jenkins.
Yeah, even though they're missing out on losing Kyle Fuller, the defense is still going to be they're going to be well off.
Yeah, they're going to be one of the better defenses in the league.
Yeah, so they got to
like they usually are.
Running back they're going to run it back with David Montgomery. Wide receiver,
who had a very good season.
Yes, the wide receiver, they still have Allen Robinson on the franchise tag, begrudgingly.
Darnell Mooney.
Yes, and the tight end, Cole Kmet, is up and coming. We'll be taking him in fantasy in the double-digit rounds. But
16th round?
But I think, they got to go O-line here. But moving on to 21, the Indianapolis Colts. It's a shame we don't have Joe Poe on here to give his thoughts, but
I don't even know who he would want them to take.
He'd probably want them to trade back, which is a trademark for
oh yeah, that's a Chris Ballard and Joe special right there.
Colts, I have them taking Azeez Ojulari, side linebacker out of Georgia. Use him opposite Darius Leonard, and then just wreck house, just like the old days of Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis. To a degree, having two monsters just destroy offenses. So I think that would be a perfect pick for Indy.
So I have at 21 Indianapolis stays put, and I have them taking edge rusher Kiwi Pay out of Michigan. Again, their defense is pretty solid right now. They just need that edge rusher to put them over the top, I think. Colts are going to be a very low-key team this year. I think they could do some damage if they get to the playoffs.
I think they'll be better than the Texans. I'm confident in making that step.
But are they going to be better than the Jets, though? I don't think so.
No.
No. And
Uh,
Carson Wentz, might I add, is due for an injury. So, but yeah, I haven't
putting
taken
that
edge
bad
rusher at
mojo.
21.
At 21, also with Indy. Indy's a very
They're,
somehow underrated team, and it doesn't make
they're a
sense.
near complete team.
Yes, and I think acquiring Carson Wentz with that O line, I think he's going to be much better. I think you're going to start to see if he can stay healthy, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But at 21 with Indy, they don't really have many glaring weaknesses, and I know there's some concerns, but I got them taking Christian Barmore, the lineman, Alabama.
All going defense.
All going defense. Yeah, like they don't need the O line help. The O line is the best in the league, and I don't even think it's close.
Yeah.
Although, didn't Costanzo retire? So they might be able to.
He did, but if you got Quentin Nelson, if you have the best O lineman in
Yeah.
general.
Even without it, they still have the best O line in football, and that's why I think they go on the defensive side of the ball. And I think Christian Barmore is too good to pass up, so I think Indy takes them at 21.
All right. Moving on to 22, the Tennessee Titans. Now, they lost Corey Davis to, of course, the Jets, so I feel they need to replace him. They could also look cornerback, but you can't have the offense be completely ran through Derrick Henry. They have A.J. Brown, who's one of the best young receivers in the game. And basically, from all the mocks, looking at, has multiple receivers going here. Some have even Kadarius Toney. Some have Rashad Bateman. Some have Elijah Moore. I also have Elijah Moore here, wide receiver from Mississippi. They got to replace, they lost Corey Davis. They also lost Jonnu Smith as well. So they need some to make up the production somehow and give Tannehill another weapon. And I think this is a solid pick for Tennessee here.
So Brian and I are on the same page with Tennessee. I also haven't taking Elijah Moore. Again, same reasons. They lost Corey Davis to New York. They lost Smith to New England, and Derrick Henry's a great back, but as we've seen in recent years, halfbacks are you got to change them after every 3,000 miles, and is he getting to that point yet? I don't know. We'll see. But you got to have someone else out there to help Ryan Tannehill, and I think Elijah Moore is the way they should go.
I could see them doing that, and I wouldn't be opposed to them doing that, as it makes sense. But watching Tennessee last year, to me at least, the reason they lost was because they couldn't stop anyone, especially in the playoffs. They looked
Their
awful.
defense completely fell off from 2019 to 2020.
It was bad. So I have them going defense, and I have them taking Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. I think they need, like I said, they lost because of that defense. Like their defense couldn't stop anybody. They got torched. So to me, I think they need someone on that side of the ball. So yeah, I go Zaven Collins.
All right. Moving on to 23. This is going to be my Jets pick. I don't think, if the draft falls differently, like if there's no corners or offensive linemen here for the Jets, I think they trade back. People are talking about Jets trading up. You're not trading up after going 2-14. You're trading back. You're getting more picks, or you're just sticking where you're at, staying put, and selecting the best player there. I think the Jets do just that and take Caleb Farley, cornerback out of Virginia Tech. Now, the concern with him is injuries, but he has immense talent. He's, other than, of course, Horn and Surtain are the top two corners, and then after that you have Newsome, and right there is Caleb Farley. Like, if it wasn't the injury concern, he would go higher in this draft. But as
I saw a lot of people saying he's arguably the best in the draft.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for the injury concerns.
It's a similar, thing like Douglas, just basing off of his draft from last year. He likes guys that are, team captains, that have, leadership, that have, they're good guys in the locker room and off the field, guys like that. And he also likes guys whose talent hasn't been fully accessed yet, who can be molded with proper coaching and, could be something really special. That could be a little raw, could have maybe like an injury concern here or there, but he takes the risk. So I think Caleb Farley is the pick for the Jets at 23. Similarly to Paul was saying with Greg Newsome, you take the corner, you plug and play them opposite of Bryce Hall starting week 1, and you just rock and roll from there.
So, again, I apologize about that, but so 23, again, I have Oakland, or I'm sorry, not Oakland, Las Vegas that traded with the Jets. And I know how you guys went defense. However, I think the most important thing is to protect your quarterback. I haven't taken tackle out of Stanford, Walker Little. Again,
Okay.
got size on him. You could put him on left or right. And, Derek Carr, Derek Carr is just, I feel like he doesn't get the
He had a
respect he
solid year last
deserves.
year.
He did. And with how bad that defense was and how piss poor the offense was at times, he played well. And I think you got to start protecting because he does have injury concerns with the broken leg. He had back injury, the groin last year that took him out. So I think you got to get him some tackle help, and Walker Little is the guy to do it.
All right.
I know earlier Brian said you said that you don't see this happening at all, but that's what I got. At 23, the Jets, I have them taking Greg Newsome, cornerback at Northwestern.
I would love
Uh,
that.
if he
No,
does
I said
fall
it
to
was
the
happening.
Jets, I think with Zach Wilson and Greg Newsome, I think they're in the same boat as Miami. They kill two birds with one stone, and it really does not get much better than this.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that'd be again like with the Jets specifically because they picked so early in the second round. They picked 34th overall. They can go either way. With the because Zach Wilson will be the pick at 2 overall. So with their second first round pick and their early second round pick, you can flip flop positions, but they have to go corner and they have to go offensive line. So those are the two weakest spots on the Jets. People are talking about edge. They just signed Carl Lawson. They just signed Vinny Curry. They added Sheldon Rankins. I know he's not an edge rusher, but to beef up that defensive line, Jonathan Franklin Myers is returning. Of course, you have Quinn Williams. I'm not too concerned with the Jets' front seven as
You
I am
shouldn't.
with their secondary, and of
Right.
course the O line you need. You can't repeat what you did to Darnold. They already addressed the wide receivers, signing Corey Davis and Keelan Cole.
I
Adding to
think Zach Wilson already has a better receiving core coming into his rookie year than Darnold ever did.
All
yeah,
3 years, I know.
yeah. I
You're
mean,
not wrong there.
some of us we know who might disagree because I don't know.
Fam. I just, it's just
But
if they take Zach Wilson, I'm gone. I'm done.
but it
All
like
right, Kasuchi, get the hot dogs on the grill.
yes.
Sorry, fucking pick
Oh
24.
God.
But compared to Darnold, the quarterback Zach Wilson already has a better wide receiving core and already has a better offensive line just because Becton's there on the left, Fant's there on the right, and with their these early round picks, they're going to address O line. So, but I have the Jets addressing cornerback here to ease the mind of all Jet fans. And you know what? They can still still sign a quality free agent corner after the draft. Richard Sherman still available. There's mutual interest there, or even possibly former Steelers Steven Nelson, who there are connections to before. But yeah, I would love Newsome there. But moving on to pick 24, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he falls right in her lap. I think this is the most mocked guy, other than, of course, the first two picks, that everyone thinks is going to go there. I do as well, and that's Najee Harris, running back from Alabama.
Wow.
I think Pittsburgh's been looking for that bell cow. James Conner, always banged up every single year, was not the answer. Since Le'Veon Bell left, they need that running back for that offense to work. And most likely, Big Ben's last year, they go ahead and take Najee Harris, bigger running back, kind of a little bit of a Jerome Bettis, ground and pound type of guy, but he can do it all. He's the best running back in the draft, in my opinion, and I think would be a perfect fit for Pittsburgh.
So I went the opposite way here.
Oh.
Very
And
interesting.
this is, I would say, probably the first reach in my mock draft, but it was something that needed to be done. Out of Ohio State, they take Wyatt Davis, guard.
Wow. They do need some
So
O-line. Okay.
they do need O-line, and the biggest problem, yes, James Conner was he had a rough year last year, but the offensive line, you typically see uh, in Pittsburgh's history, they had a great line. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the Iron Curtain back in the day, the Super Bowls and then playoff runs they made, they had a great line. And as you said, with it being Big Ben's last year, try to get him back to the playoffs or lead them to the playoffs, he's going to need some protection because he all you got to do is just blow on him and there's a fractured ankle. Like he's hurting, and I think Wyatt Davis, it's a reach, but it's a reach that they need to make.
But Pittsburgh can coach them. Things that Pittsburgh does well is,
Developing talent.
developing across the board, especially O-line. And yeah, that would be actually a solid pick. Maybe a bit of a reach, like you said, but I think that would work well for them.
Yeah, I'm here with you, Brian. 24 Pittsburgh. I think they go Najee Harris. Uh, with James Conner moving on to Arizona, they need somebody that back there. Who's the number one now? Benny Snell.
Yeah, you can't have that.
Yeah, can't have that. Uh, I do want to say one thing though about this draft. I think the running back class is underrated as hell. I think there are so many solid running backs.
I I don't think it's
Like,
underrated. I think just teams are smartening up and realizing maybe we shouldn't take a running back in the top 10 anymore.
yeah, you definitely shouldn't, but Pittsburgh will. And it's later toward the end of the first, so it's really not that much of a
Yeah.
blow.
It's also a need for them.
It's a big need, yeah. And Najee Harris, like you said, he's like a wrecking ball. He's like a Jerome Bettis type, just run you over like a Brandon Jacobs, and I think that's what they need. So I think they go Najee Harris.
All right. So far, I think all of our picks, aside from maybe like one or two, has kind of been on board, which, again, definitely will not happen come draft time. There will be
Yeah,
surprises.
we're gonna bomb half of these, more than
Yeah.
half of these.
We'll
I'm
see.
gonna look back at my piece of paper here, and I'm just gonna be like, "Wow, I did terrible."
I want to keep track. I want to see like how accurate.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring this with me.
For a draft. So 25, we're on to Jacksonville. Once again, their second pick in the first round. I have Christian Barmore landing here, defensive tackle. They're another team that can use almost everything. They have some weapons already there for Lawrence. Their O-line is a bit shaky, but on the defensive side, it's really just Josh Allen there, and also Miles Jack is still there. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's barren after like the exodus of players over the past few years of Jalen Ramsey, Naganik, Ugoke, and like a whole bunch of guys, just gone. Like that 1 year for the AFC title run, and just fell apart. So I think
Yeah, I've
Barmore
never seen a
here
team fall apart that badly.
so quickly too.
So quickly too. Yeah, 1 year of success.
Yeah, so like assuring that defensive line with Baltimore, I think that's a solid pick for them.
So it might be a little bit of a homer, but
Mm-hmm.
I have the Jets trading back into the first for their
Okay.
third
Really?
first pick. Yes.
Huh. That's interesting.
So they had 23 picks over the next 2 years. And, they're not going to use them all. So this is where Joe Douglas magic in the middle of the season becomes Joe Douglas magic in the draft. So they trade the second round pick this year. They trade a second round pick next year. And Jacksonville, again, this is all hypothetical. This is a mock draft. And with the 25th overall pick, the Jets select linebacker out of Notre Dame, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like that.
Unanimous All-American senior year. He has the ability to rush the passer if you need to up the middle. 2018, he had 8.5 sacks. 2020 COVID season, he had 1.5. He can play coverage well. He's good at forcing fumbles and recovering as well, and he's a very versatile player. You could essentially put him wherever. He's essentially Jamal Adams as a linebacker, which Jamal Adams is. So you got to make these moves, and I think Joe Douglas trades back into the first, and you see the Jets leave with 3 first-round picks.
Interesting. That'll be for an exciting night. Maybe.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I think that'd probably get an A+ if that was to work out that way.
yeah.
25 Jacksonville. Like Brian said, they need a little bit of everything. You can go a lot of different ways here. I think they go defense. I think they try to replace Yannick Ngakwe and his presence on that defense. I think they go edge rusher Aziz Achalan out of Georgia. I probably just butchered that name completely.
Okay.
But
the guy I had going to Indy. All right.
yeah, I have him going to Jacksonville at 25. Like I said, losing Ngakwe, you need someone on that line to get to you and to get to the quarterback, and I think they go Ajalan.
There's some difficult names to pronounce in this draft. That's right.
God bless the commissioner.
Yeah, that's gonna be hilarious. Dell up there. It's gonna be great to hear, live in-person boos again at the NFL
Oh,
draft.
it's amazing. It's a breath
Is
of fresh
Big
air
Bro
to
heading
have
down
this.
there? I think he is.
No, I think he said he's staying.
Okay.
The moving on to the Cleveland Browns at 26, I have them staying put and taking Jamin Davis, linebacker out of Kentucky. A solid guy. They added their defense just keeps getting better. They added Clowney in the offseason, who I think will flourish.
Yeah, I'm very
opposite
impressed with what they've done.
Yeah, he'll flourish opposite of Myles Garrett. They're solid all around. They just got to get healthy. They were impressive last year.
Very.
So as long as Baker just doesn't fall apart and just game manages like he does, they kind of remind me of like the Niners of the early 2010s, like under Jim Harbaugh, where Alex Smith just game managed, defense steps up, make the plays on offense you need
The
to.
offense is through Frank Gore.
Yeah, and in this case, the offense is through the dual running back, the two-headed monster
Chubb
they
and Hunt,
got there.
absolutely. Which is
So
disgusting.
yeah, so I think Davis here, solid pick. Sure up the linebacker position. I think that's where Cleveland goes.
So again, I say put with Cleveland at 26, and the rich just get richer. At 26, I have them taking edge rusher out of Penn State, Jason Ola. You got Myles Garrett on one side, you got him on the other. It's going to be pain town for whoever's the quarterback, and Cleveland's going to be Cleveland's going to be dirty this year.
They may win the division.
I don't.
It's very possible.
I don't think it's may. I think they will.
It's actually very possible.
Cincinnati's still.
Cincinnati's still a little bit away.
Pittsburgh's falling apart, and Baltimore looks very vulnerable now. Yeah. Pittsburgh. Now that I'm sorry to keep cutting you off. I know.
No, you're good. You're good.
Now that they figured out what's his face. Lamar Jackson. They can game plan around him a little bit more now. Okay, here we go. Now they can beat him up. So I'm sorry, NickPo.
No, you're good. At 26, Cleveland, like we're talking about, this team is going to be very good. I also have them at 26, along with Brian, going Jamin Davis, linebacker out of Kentucky. Cleveland's going to be.
They're kind of like the Colts, where they're a near complete team.
And like you said, as long as Baker doesn't try to do too much and just plays his role, to me, it's a team that can. They almost did it last year. I mean, granted, Mahomes got hurt, but to me, this is a team that can knock off KC and Tennessee and all these top teams.
I don't think they're knocking off Kansas City.
I don't think they are, but I think it's very possible that they can. I think I love what they're doing over there. They're building a great team, and like I said, as long as Baker doesn't try to do too much, I would not be surprised at all to see Cleveland AFC title game.
That's a strong possibility. They make the right moves in the draft. They had a solid offseason before, so we'll see. On the 27, their arch rivals, the Baltimore Ravens, I have them going Trevin Moehrig, safety out of TCU. You know, could he possibly be the next Ed Reed? No. But he could be a very good safety for the
Hey, way
Baltimore
to shoot
Ravens.
down this guy's hopes and dreams. You never know.
Yeah, just go to the team with the greatest safety in NFL history. Good luck, kid. But no, I think it'll be, Ravens usually always go defense. A lot of people like here projecting receiver. Why? Lamar's not going to use him.
No.
They'll go. They could go O line to replace Orlando Brown, who they traded to Kansas City. But I think going safety there, who they hoped would have been with Earl Thomas, but that didn't work out so well. So I think going Moreg here is a nice fit for Baltimore.
So I am actually going at 27 with Terrence Marshall Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. I mean, I know they need receiving help, and
I don't think they need the help. I think they have it there. They just don't utilize it.
regardless, I mean, they need receivers. They need to do something because old Michael Vick wannabe, wish Michael Vick is what we're going to call Lamar Jackson now.
Dollar Tree Michael
Chinese
Vick?
Dollar Tree Michael Vick or
Dollar
wish
Tree
Michael
Michael Vick.
I like Lamar.
No, I do too, but the whole game plan is literally just pitches and up the
Yeah.
middle and
And,
fucking.
It's very limited.
and
He's
lobs
gonna
to the
do.
tight ends.
He's gonna get fucking smoked. He's gotta start passing the fucking ball, and
Yeah, I do
it is
agree.
what it is. And Terrence Marshall Jr. He's a solid receiver out of LSU again, lined up number 2 to Jamar Chase, and I think he'll be able to provide some help for that offense, but time will tell.
Yeah, like Brian said, Baltimore usually always defense, and I don't see that changing this year. You can go a lot of different ways, but for me, I got Baltimore taking Carlos Basham Jr., edge out of Wake Forest.
Mm.
I mean, they do need the receiver help. I don't disagree with that, but Baltimore is usually always defense, and I don't see that changing this year.
Yeah, they're never really also a need team. They're just a best player
Yeah,
available.
they usually
Best player,
they
defensive
usually
player
do always
available.
take the best. Yeah,
Um,
they do have a habit of that. That's for sure.
yeah, so moving on to 28, nearing the end here of the first round. New Orleans Saints, they lost a lot of guys. They are cap strapped, but they're still maintaining, even though Drew Brees retired. They're rolling with Jameis. They're rolling with Taysom
Hill in there.
So, but I think they need to go defense because they lost a few pieces on defense, and I got them going Gregory Rousseau, I believe you pronounce his last name, defensive end out of Miami. I saw people, possibly having him go to the Dolphins, going a bit earlier, but I think having them bolstering that defensive front because that defense, it was all right last year, but it wasn't great that you would normally expect out of the Saints defense. I think out of the offense, of course they still have Michael Thomas, they still have Alvin Kamara, and I think Jameis is going to be an upgrade because they're going to have some fraudulent quarterback competition to, with the excuse of how much they're paying Taysom Hill. But Jameis is going to win outright. The offense, I'm not concerned with New Orleans. I think they're going to be better than in previous years with, Breeze not being able to throw past 10 yards.
Yeah, not his noodle arm.
So I think they got to focus on defense in this draft, and I think Rousseau would be a solid option for them.
So I have at 28 there I'm taking Caleb Farley, cornerback out of Virginia Tech. Again, with the injury concern, at least for me, he fell. What a great pickup that would be for New Orleans. Help out that defense, and it was kind of like a Bryce Hall. If you can come back from this injury and be able to stay healthy, I think he'll be a great cornerback. Now again, the verdict is still out on Bryce Hall. He's a 5th-round pick that was supposed to be a first-rounder.
He's a coach.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll Caleb Farley will have such a drop as last year. last year Bryce Hall did. But yes, I could definitely see him in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Paul. I have New Orleans going Caleb Farley as well. He's definitely gonna fall, and because of these concerns with his back, but there ain't no way to me he makes it out of the first round. If he's there on day 2, I'll be shocked. Like you said, they lost a lot of people. They're cap ridden. They're a mess, but they're not a mess. If that
They're
makes
not a
any
mess.
sense at all.
Like the Patriots, they have a great head coach
They're
in
in
Sean Payton.
purgatory.
Right. Yeah, but they got to figure something out. And to me, losing.
They're no longer the top dog, like the Patriots, no longer the top dogs in their division. They're behind, Pats are behind the Bills at the moment, and New Orleans is behind Tampa Bay. But
Right.
they're there.
They're there. Yep. They have a great coach, and that goes a long way in this league. And I think they take Caleb Farley.
All right. Moving on next to 29, the Green Bay Packers. The most shocking pick in this draft, at least in my mock. They finally take a wide receiver and get Aaron Rodgers some help, and they take Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of Florida. Terrible draft last year, in my opinion, for the Packers, just taking Jordan Love.
Oh, it's the worst.
Just overall, just terrible. You're right there. They hosted the NFC Championship game, but what happened? Other than Devontae Adams, you had receivers dropping balls. Alan Lazard dropped passes. What's his face?
Marquez Valdes-Scantling
dropping passes. These guys are quality receivers, but they look so much better because Rodgers is throwing on the ball. It's a whole Peyton Manning scenario where, he had, at the time, Marvin Harrison, he had Reggie Wayne. He had nothing else. He would make, diamonds out of coal, what's surrounded by him. So I think taking a guy like Toney, who's very fast, he can get up there, having him opposite Devontae Adams, with Rodgers throwing him the ball, we could be looking at a Rookie of the Year here if he's drafted by Green Bay.
Yeah, you know what, Brian? I'm not even going to not even explain my pick again. You and me have been on kind of a roll tonight. Kadarius Toney, Green Bay, for that same exact reason. I don't have any more to say about that.
All right,
it's kind of funny, Brian. You said the most shocking pick of your mock, but we're all on the same page here.
Oh, really?
For me, it's not Toney, though. For me, it's Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota. But
it's shocking because, they haven't picked a wide receiver since 2002.
Right, but it's funny that we're all on the same page here. I mean, like you said, I don't
They
know
need
what more.
to. They need to.
Aaron Rodgers, with the rumors of him leaving, like you could tell. And watching that,
he should burst through the door, just knock the door down, and demand a receiver.
After them losing, and you could tell he's fed up, and he's not getting any younger, and they need to help him. They need to, and yeah, they got a good receiver.
And this just crossed my mind. I wasn't thinking. Now I'm thinking. But what if big old blockbuster of a trade? The Packers trade Rodgers mid-draft to New England.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh my!
Why would he? Why?
Oh no!
Would he even say that?
Oh no! The Packers say, you know what?
Given that this is a Jets podcast,
we're going with Jordan Love. Yeah, we just lost all 2 of our listeners who are actual Jet fans.
Not even that. I just think all 4 of you guys, 5 of you guys, however many of you are out there, 10, whatever, will be.
That'll be misery for the next 10 years.
Even if the Jets have the draft that we're expecting them to have, which is a great draft, even if they have that, it'll be a complete buzzkill of a night
null and
if Aaron
void.
Rodgers was to get traded to New England. It would just completely kill any happiness you guys had. But I do not think that happens at all. So
I hope not. So moving on, Buffalo Bills pick 30. I have them taking Jalen Phillips here. They could use some help on the defensive side of the ball. A team like Tennessee, they kind of fell off defensively from 2019 to 2020. Defensive end out of Miami, plug and play right away. Buffalo they're another team that can coach up their defensive line guys pretty well. So I think this will be a solid pick for them.
Again, me and Brian on a two pick streak. I have Jalen Phillips as well. Reason why I have him going to Buffalo again. As you said, their defense took a step back this past year. Again, COVID season is expected. However, he should have been higher up on a lot of drafts, but again, with
Mhm.
injury concerns and kind of like Caleb Farley, I think Buffalo is the perfect place for him to go. And if he's again able to recover from his back injury and his ACL, uh, the Buffalo Bills are going to have themselves a hell of a pass rusher.
Yeah, like you said, I think they could go defense. I think they do go defense. I think they lock down the other side of the field from Tre'Davious White. I think they go Tyson Campbell, cornerback out of Georgia, and gives them a nice 1-2 punch at corner on the outside, and gears them up to try and take down KC.
Yeah, because that's
You got
right
to do
now.
something. You got to do something to stop Hill. You got to do something to stop Kelsey. To me, I think they go to secondary.
All right, so I'll pick there.
Well, I mean, as we saw in the Super Bowl, literally all you have to do, and I get it, their line was banged up, but you just got to throw the fucking rush at Pat Mahomes and get him running around. And,
Yeah, but acquiring Orlando Brown and Joe Thuney, I
right.
don't think
and
I don't think
what's his face from out of retirement? The former what's his name? The Long,
oh right, yeah.
Chris Long, or no, that which one is it? One of the two, Jake Long, one of them.
I don't think it's
One
Jake.
one
I
of
think it's the
Howie
other one.
Long's kids, whichever one
Yeah,
played O line
one
and
of
not
them.
defensive line. That one.
Either way, with that upgraded O line, KC ain't playing around. They saw that Super Bowl. They said, "Screw this. We're not letting
Yeah.
this happen again." And yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen ever again. I don't think you're ever gonna see Mahomes running for his life like that.
No, unless it's designed to, or he just breaks breaks
Or
coverage.
all these guys we just mentioned get hurt
Well, that would be unfortunate for them.
at the same time.
Moving on, 31, Baltimore Ravens with their second pick in the first round. Again, it's the Ravens. I'm sticking with defense for them. So I have them taking Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, another great name to pronunciate in Butch. But he's another guy. He's another guy. Yes, linebacker. He's fast. He's explosive. Could he be Ray
Right out of
Lewis?
Notre Dame.
No, but similarly, a guy.
What makes you so sure to just rule out these prospects' hopes of being great?
Oh, they could be great, but they can't be that great. I mean,
You never know.
well, yeah, we never know. But I think that would just be another great pick for Baltimore. The offense, I mean, the offense is set. Running back, they're set. Receiver, yeah, they could definitely add one. But I think they're just going to focus on defense because also Baltimore's another team last year. Defensively, they're kind of susceptible. They weren't like the typical Ravens hard-nosed defense that you can't do anything against and be lucky to score 20 points on them. So I think they take him and be a solid pick for him.
All right, so number 31, Baltimore taking a tackle. I have them taking Dylan Radunz, North Dakota State. Again, they got to replace Brown that they just got rid of to Kansas City. And my whole philosophy is, and it's yours as well, protect your quarterback, build up the trenches, and go from there. And, Radunz, I think, would be a solid pick. Beefy guy, another plug-and-play tackle, and he's a good blocker. So that way when Lamar Jackson does his fucking 60-yard dashes, he'll be set.
Yeah, Brian, I'm with you here. I also have them going defense again. I have them taking Jeremiah Owusu Koromora. If I can just call him Jock, because that'd be a lot easier for me. They're the Ravens. They're always, to me, always going to pick defense. And I think coming away with two studs in this draft, because I also have them taking Carlos Basham Jr., I think they're set.
They're back.
You think really he's gonna be there at 29 or 31? Excuse me. I mean, he is
I think that like again, there's going to be surprises, but it's so talented. It's so top heavy this draft. It's kind of deep at certain positions, like especially O line and receiver, and even corner as well. Like
Right.
I think guys are going to like slip through the cracks a bit. Like a guy who we thought a couple months ago in Penny Sewell, oh he's definitely going top three. And now not so much. In different
Right.
mocks, I have him going a little bit later. Maybe he will go
Right.
like 4 or 5, but guys are going to fall, and it depends also on need, So
That's very true. Very true.
It is a very talented class, at least for the first round.
yeah,
It's very stacked.
yeah. So the last pick, 32 overall, in the 2021 NFL
What do
Draft.
they even need?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they're going for need here,
I don't
because
think they are either.
I forget the first team in however long to have all 22 Super Bowl starters return. The
It's
Super Bowl
crazy.
champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have them taking Travis Etienne, running back out of Clemson. I think
Wow.
I think they're tired of Ronald Jones shit. I think Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny, yeah, that's okay. We're glad to have you back and ground and pound here and there, but we've seen Fournette as a 3 down back, and it ain't pretty. Um, and I don't even know if McCoy's even back, and They also have Keyshawn Vaughn in there as like a uh, kind of like a pass catching back here and there.
Do they still have Dare Ogunbowale?
I believe he got hurt, but he could compete for a for a job. But I think they need to get that bell cow and get an NT in here. Again, Tampa Bay doesn't need a whole lot. You could say, okay, for the future, and 2-3 years after Brady is done, you want to get younger. But they're in win now. They're full on win now. They can address getting younger into defensive line because they do have Sue there, who's up in the 30s, and McClendon as well, and JPP. They can get front seven guys in rounds 2 and back, but get a guy who you can fill in and make a dangerous offense that much more dangerous. And adding NTN to that, it's just overkill.
I really didn't know what to do with this pick.
I'm in the same boat as you.
I just kind of just closed my eyes and picked
And through a dart.
Elijah Molden, safety out of Washington.
Okay.
I got no reason for it.
It's just a name. All right.
To me, like it's a tough pick because, like we said, they don't need anything. They're so stacked on both sides of the ball. Like they got all their starters coming back from the Super Bowl. So to me, I just think they add extra protection for the soon-to-be 44-year-old quarterback, and I have them taking Alex Leatherwood, O lineman out of Alabama.
Ooh.
I just think,
Center.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I just think with they don't need anything. So it's like,
Yeah.
why not? Let's add more protection
Yeah, you can
for
never
our
have too much
old
O-line.
quarterback, so he can have even more time to throw, so he can be even better than he already is. Dude's gonna play till he's 50.
Yeah. Well, that is our first round mock 2021. So we'll see how accurate we are. Now on to because we're pushing on time here. Quick rundown of the New York Jets 7th round mock draft. We already have Paul has Zach Wilson and Greg Newsome in the first round, and who'd you have them trading up again, Paul?
So I have Jeremiah. Jeremiah Owusu-Komoro.
Okay. And in the first round, I have Wilson and Farley. And the second round, I'll just start off here, and then we'll just go back and forth.
Yeah, do not ask me because I know nothing.
Yeah. I have pick 34. I just went because doing trades for a first round mock, sure. I'm not doing any trades here on out through the rest of the picks, so I'm just going pick by pick.
Right, me too.
At 34th overall, round 2, I have the Jets taking Creed Humphrey, center, offensive guard out of Oklahoma.
That'd be a nice pick.
He's another prototypical Joe Douglas guy. Could take over for Connor McGovern, kick him over to guard. He's a two-time captain, 2-time Big 12 O lineman of the year, arguably best center in the draft. like I said, Jets go corner at pick 23, or in round one after Wilson. Then they take O-line in early round two, or you flip it. I have them taking O-line. I like Humphrey here ahead of a guy like Wyatt Davis, who I have take a little later, or even Dylan Radins, who has some questionable character issues. Everyone says this Humphrey guy is like the real deal, so I like him for a Jets there.
I don't have a second round pick, so you could go on.
All right. Round three, at pick 66, I actually had him falling to round three again. Guy's going to slip through the cracks, and this is, the dream mock draft. And I have Jason Owa, linebacker at Penn State. I think you plug and play him into 4-3, line him up with Gerard Davis and C.J. Mosley, and get to work.
I don't have pick 66. However, I do have 86.
All right.
And with that pick, I go tight end, Brevin Jordan.
Ooh, okay.
Again, he's got a lot of upside. He's got a lot of potential down in Miami. And tight end is a position that they have ignored since really Dustin Keller. So Brevin Jordan.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're kind of on the same page, same position, Paul.
Yep.
I have him actually taking Pat Freiermuth out of Penn State again. They go Penn State back to back. Another guy highly regarded, all Big Ten and freshman All American honors. Again, Joe Douglas likes guys who are great locker room guys, who are leaders, and who have the potential to be something more, who may be a little raw. According to NFL.com, NFL comp of Tyler Eifert, who, guess what, is a New York Jet now. So I like him there.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Chris Herndon, I think he's on his way out. They did bring back, I believe, retained Ryan Griffin, if I'm not mistaken. But adding this guy, again, the Shanahan offense, Mike LaFleur, he's going to implement, you need that Greg Kittle type of play. Not saying he could be Greg Little, but Greg Kittle. But it would be a solid. He's a great blocker and a solid pass catcher. So I think they go Freiermuth there. Round 4, pick 107. Have the Jets going corner again. Robert Rochelle from Central Arkansas, simply because he's been connected to the Jets and rumored that the Jets are pretty high on him. But with the rumors, the Jets really don't leak news or anything like that. But he could be a guy who could use him in dime packages, possibly even as a slot corner, replace Brian Poole, work him in there. So I have Rochelle there.
I have Tay Gowan, 4th round, second pick, cornerback out of UCF. Again, cheap option to replace Brian Poole. Put him again alongside Newsome and Bryce Hall. It's going to be dangerous because it's a very young secondary. But
that's why you got to sign a
upside,
veteran too.
Right, the upside is there. So Tay Gowan for me at round 4.
All right. Moving on to round 5. Jets have 2 picks in this round. We'll see if they stay that way. But at number 146 overall, I have the Jets taking offensive tackle Deontay Smith from East Carolina, a guy who can be molded a bit. He's a bit raw. That's why he's going a bit late. Some mocks he's going as early as round 3. I have him falling to the Jets here. He can sit behind George Fant for a year. Then you move on from Fant next year, and Smith can be the Jets' starting right tackle. And that O-line just gets younger and better. You would have, theoretically, Becton on the blind side, Smith at right tackle, Creed Humphrey possibly at center or guard, and then just go and Cameron Clark at the other guard position, pick from last year. So we'll see. And I'll just give my other 5th round pick, Paul, and then hand it back to you. At 154, a few picks later, Jets, even though they signed Tevin Coleman to bring back Josh Adams, of course they have LaMichael Pirine. Why not add a running back? And honestly, I saw some of his highlights. Looked pretty good, but at this point, it's the 5th round. I'm going to be honest, I don't know Jack Diddley squat. He has a cool name, Puka Williams Jr., running back. So I have the Jets taking Puka.
So second pick of the fifth round. Jets go guard. I have them taking Aaron Banks from Notre Dame. Again, he's a guy they can mold, develop, and hopefully get him into your starting rotation one day once McGovern and Lewis are gone. So that's that. And then, again, you and me are on the same page with really everything. I'm going running back in the fifth. Chris Evans, halfback out of Michigan. Maybe use him as a third down guy, get him some more touches. You still have Perrine, and you still have,
Yeah.
I
Running
think
back
Ty
is not a
Johnson's still
high
there.
priority, but it's something that you can add later in day 3.
Right.
And lastly, in round 6, I picked 186 overall. Last year, the Jets took the best punter in the league, Brandon Mann. This year, they'll take the best kicker in the league, Evan McPherson, the highly touted kicker out of Florida. They obviously need kicking help. Since the one magical year of Jason Myers, where he went to the Pro Bowl, and before that with Nick Folk, but it's been terrible, the kicking game for the Jets. So get McPherson in there, and then just roll with him.
Yeah, again, we're on the same page. I'm taking
Well,
McPherson in the 6th round. I mean, you need a kicker.
yeah.
Again, Brandon Mann has looked really good last year. I mean, of course, because he's punting the ball 8 times a game. But
It's a lot of practice.
Jets have had problems with their kicking position ever since Nick Folk. And that was almost 7 years ago.
Yeah.
6-7 years ago. So fuck it, it's a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
Get your kicker. Hopefully he could be a franchise guy.
Franchise kicker. But yeah, so that is our mock draft episode for 2021 NFL mock draft and our full 7th round New York Jets mock draft. Next week we'll review the draft and everything like that, and there's going to be plenty of time because we missed the past 2 weeks. Like I said, apologize, I was busy, but all throughout May and June and leading into training camp in July, it's going to be pretty dead. So we'll cover all the news of the other free agent moves that we did not talk about on the show. And again, looking forward to the draft. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe a month or two, maybe 2-3 months, we'll have a fantasy football preview type episode on the podcast that we can all be a part of.
Best time of the year.
Absolutely.
Yep. But Paul, if you want to take us out, and follow NickPo on Twitter at npoly.
No, it's at NCP1016.
All
right. So again, for Nick Poe and Brian, I'm Paul. You can follow us on Twitter at Jets Flight Path. We will be back next week. Promise you, we will be back next week. We will review the draft and go from there. So for all of us here, thank you very much for listening and enjoy the draft, everybody.